What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 3, Episode 31 of Hit the Books, the podcast all about sports betting, the best bets you should be taking, and everything surrounding sports. This week, we got some new rule changes in the NFL. We want to review those. March Madness this week, MLB coming in hot, plus power rankings across each league. So let's jump in and introduce this week's episode and introduce my co-host, no Huff, just Ace and Mackey this week. I even wrote that down. Goddamn. Just Ace and Mackey this week. Ace, why don't you get us going this week? What do you got for us, buddy? Nice to see you here for yet another week.
Yeah, no Huff this week, so we'll definitely be missing him. But we're going to get going on a great week of sports here. We got opening day tomorrow. I'm super for that. March Madness in the Sweet 16. I mean, Mackey and Huff are printing money for me. We've been saying it all year. The NHL heating up. Bruins with a great win last night. I know Mackey was watching that one while his Rangers took the L. Two of them fighting for the President's Trophy right now.
Rangers won? What are you talking about?
Well, taking the L on the card for us. That's the way.
Yeah, I took the L on the card. Yeah, but we get the 2 points.
The way I bet it. Yeah, good win though. No, it's a good point. I'm just thinking from how
you took
the puck line. Yeah, I'm like, fuck you. You didn't cover the puck line.
That was a pretty brutal not cover, but
yeah, but like I said, NHL buzzing, NBA. The Celtics are insane. So I'm ready to get going another week of sports here. Lame NFL news, like you said, but other than that, some great stuff coming up.
Yeah, lots to review here across a couple of these leagues, especially those rule changes and such. But lots of stuff coming up here soon. The championship game for March Madness is that first week of August. Immediately following is the Masters, and then we have the NFL draft there at the end of the month there on the 25th. So let's jump in and get going here in the NFL. On Monday and Tuesday, the NFL announced a number of major rule changes aimed at increasing player safety, enhancing replay, and creating more excitement in one phase of the game. The beginning of the game will look a lot different in 2024 than it did in 2023. Coaches will get one more chance per game to challenge an official's call, and a controversial tackle technique is being eliminated. So there, just to kind of review these 8 different changes to the kickoff. I don't have them all listed because that'd just take me a year to talk about. The hip drop tackle is banned. So it is a foul if the player grabs the runner with both hands, wraps the runner with both arms, and unweights himself by swiveling and dropping his hips and or lower body, landing on and trapping the runner's legs at or below the knees. The NFL trade deadline will be 1 week earlier instead of week 8. A week 8 trade deadline, the date has been moved back to week 9. Coaches will no longer have to win their first 2 challenges to get a third challenge. Now they will only have to win one of their first 2 challenges to be awarded a third. Enforcement of fouls on change of possession plays. During a play that results in a possession change, if fouls are committed by both teams, any major offensive fouls like unnecessary roughness that were committed before the possession change will now be enforced. Some changes to replay. Nothing too interesting that I was like jumping for joy about. Unlimited designated return transactions in the playoffs, and emergency third quarterbacks had a little change as well. What are you guys thinking about these here? I know I went on for a little bit there, but what are you thinking? Go ahead, Ace.
I'm just going to say real quick before Ace gets going, I don't think I like one new rule that was added or anything changed, but Ace, let me hear what you have to say about all these.
Yeah, I mean, it's encouraging more offense. It's good if you like betting the over. I know you guys are big first half under guys, but a lot to unpack here. Not a big fan of the tackles. I know it creates injuries. That's probably the best out of all of them that was included. I know Huff said, what are they playing? Flag football next. He would be going off if he was on the podcast. I actually do understand that one. The kickoff rule, I don't think it was broken. No need to fix it. But I guess they were just tired of seeing too many touchbacks. They want to see a bit more offense and keep people engaged in the game. Really making it unnecessary play. I don't like the onside kick rule. That was something that stood out to me. Did you see that one, Mackie?
Yeah, but how else can you do it?
No, but have to report it. You have to report it to the ref before doing it.
It's it's a completely different lineup, so you have to. I think this kickoff rule might be the dumbest thing they've ever done. Giving them the opportunities where if they don't land it inside that 20-yard line, you're getting the ball at either the 40 or the 35-yard line. That's 25. Yeah. That's almost like 20 yards away from a field goal for most of these kickers nowadays.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's just ridiculous. I think the kickoff was broken. They needed to do something about it because everything was just a touchback these days.
Touchback, yeah.
But I don't think this is the way to do it. I think this is like sloppy football. This isn't the NFL.
Yeah, I like seeing some of the classic stuff but they're always looking for some new rule. Gonna see how that affects plays now because you're gonna get people really getting precise with these kickoffs and some of these return specialists. Maybe they can have some crazy highlight reels come off of it. But I'm with you. I'm not a big fan of any of these. I like the onside kicks. That was my big thing I was getting to. Being able to surprise the other team, right? I you're not going to see that again. Remember, we saw that by the Saints in the Super Bowl, a decade ago, a little bit more than
Yeah.
that now. But going to be missing
But
stuff like that. But we'll see how they go
how
into play.
I was gonna say, how else could you do an onside kick? Like, you can't, like, surprise onside kick when
You
it's
just have to have a
formation.
great onside kick that
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
off some hands. Other than that, though, another one Jesse was talking about was the challenges there. I don't like the change from that rule. I think you're advocating for mediocrity there. You should have to get both challenges right in order to get it back. I know sometimes some teams miss out on crucial plays by not having that third challenge, but sometimes I think the
The
booth
game's
could
the
just
game,
intervene.
man.
The booth
The game's
intervenes
the
here and
game.
there. Like they're gonna pick up the big ones, you know?
And also, if you get your first challenge, now you're just gonna throw your second challenge out there for anything that's even close because you know you're getting a third. I think that that's a pretty stupid rule. And honestly, like, okay, so sometimes plays are really bad and you have to challenge them. Okay, get a challenge. But I mean, refs are a part of the game for the most part. You shouldn't be getting like 3 challenges in one game. I think that's insane. I
That's
think that, I
crazy.
mean, one challenge is okay because crucial times, like in crucial matters, like maybe you should make sure they get the right call. But like bad calls are a part of the game in every sport. I just think that 3 challenges to like make up for refs' mistakes are just ridiculous. I don't know.
I don't
I
mind the
think the
3
game should.
challenges part. I just think if you get one incorrect immediately, you don't get the bonus.
Well, even that, it's even easier to just challenge plays now because they know that they only need one correct.
Yeah. So you get
Like,
that
just
one under
making
your
it
belt.
easier. It's just make
You can look at more ticky tack stuff, and it's doing what they don't want, slowing the game down and getting more whistles. Um, crazy rule changes there, but
every year. Every year, I feel like everyone talks about how the NFL is just ruining itself. But I
yeah.
mean,
But
I'm never
Jesse,
gonna stop watching, obviously.
I think our next point here shed some good light on the NFL. We're kind of trashing it real quick, but they did give us something good this week.
Yeah, here they're embracing that midweek holiday spirit. In 2024, the league will hold 2 games on Christmas, a Wednesday this year. They said they're very happy with the engagement they got from both on TV and in the stadiums. So, some interesting stuff for 2 Christmas games.
I'm
What do you guys
hyped
think?
about that. Hyped. I don't know about you, Mackie,
Yeah,
but
good
football and
content.
Christmas, ooh, that was
It's awesome.
great last year. And
Yeah, I like
hopefully we
this,
get some good
obviously.
teams. Need to see like the Bills. I know on Thanksgiving we always get the Cowboys. That's a fun team to watch. But give me someone that's scoring a lot of points. Give us a marquee matchup. I think last year we got blessed on the holidays with some divisional ones. Did we get Ravens and 49ers on one of the holidays as well? So
That was
a lot
in
of
that
that
was
was
Christmas.
Christmas.
That was a night game on Christmas.
Yeah, like that's great. Hopefully they do a good job of making these games really matter. And even those, it's nice seeing people who don't tune into the NFL watching. And you're like, yeah, I got some picks for you here. Everybody's always asking me what my play is on that day. I don't know about you, Mackie, but it's gonna be fun
Yeah,
to have it again this year.
I always get the questions. I kinda, like, hate giving them out in person, though, because then, like, if it doesn't hit, they're just like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "You know what? Make your own picks then." Like
Yeah, yeah. Every or the people that come up to you, like your cousins, friends, or something like that,
Yeah,
with their
yeah.
long list of everything they got on the day. They're like, "Do you like that?" I'm like, "Well, you went with everything but the
You got
kitchen sink,
everything,
so
so,
like, I
yeah,
like
like,
some
half
of
of it,
it."
but
Yeah.
it's funny.
But
But,
holiday football can't beat that. Best sport to watch on the holidays, and I'm looking forward to it already.
yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a long time till we're there, though.
Yeah, we got a good bit here till the NFL comes back here, but we got the draft again there at the end of April. So, something to look forward to. Alrighty, let's jump over to the NHL here. A couple little points here, starting off with the power rankings. Pretty similar to last week, if I remember correctly. Number 5, the Florida Panthers. Number 4, the Carolina Hurricanes. Number 3, the Vancouver Canucks. Number 2, the New York Rangers. And number 1, the Colorado Avalanche. I believe the Rangers being the first team to,
Clinch, 100 points.
yeah,
Got it
to
last
clinch a
night.
playoff berth.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, when
Let's
you're in
go,
that weak
baby.
division, it's not too hard. I mean, who else is even good in that division? You
Yeah,
tell
but
me.
they're leading
We
the
have 2
league.
teams in the top
Yeah,
5.
yeah. And how many do we have?
1.
Oh, our power ranking right now. But I'm gonna tell you this: we left them off the power ranking 2 weeks ago, right? And what did I say? They'll be right back there. We left them off this week, so what do I have to say now? They'll be right back there. What did they do responding last night? A nice 4-3 come from behind victory in South Florida against the Panthers, who many have dubbed as one of the best teams in the league, Cup favorites, yada yada. They're built. We're down 3-2 in their barn. Come back and win in the last 5 minutes. So Bruins are right there with them, and we took that season series against them, took it against Toronto. We're going to be back in that top 5. Mark my words. But going past our teams a bit, it's good to see some other guys getting back up there. It's kind of nice to see the Avalanche at 1. I don't know if you're happy to do that as well. That kind of made me pretty hyped.
I had them at 1 as well too. I mean, they were on a 9-game heater, and obviously, I mean that team is just
But
stacked.
doesn't it feel
But
like it's about time? Like
dude,
we all know they're the best.
I don't know. I don't know about
Weak
this year.
goaltending, yeah. Weak
I think
defenseman, but
that they can get matched up with a few teams in the East. But
deadliest team in the league
obviously,
though, maybe.
probably the deadliest, just because McKinnon and McCarr. I mean, there's no better
The
duo than
pace
them. But
McKinnon's on too. Like I think it's his second 19 game point streak of the season.
he scored. What did he score? 45 seconds into the game last night.
Yeah, and we had that
It
on the
was
card.
something
That
like
was a night.
that. Yeah.
I saw you already text me. You're like McKinnon. I was like, nice. Yeah, he's
You were
buzzing.
like, did the game even start, dude? Like,
Yeah, we'll take that.
that
Panarin
was
not
nice.
tucking us on the card last night. We've been adding those anytime.
Everyone
goal scores
but
a bit more. Yeah.
everyone but Laugh scores 2. Trocheck had 1. I mean, everyone but him.
You know
But
what's tough is like he's the only guy that I sent into the card that didn't hit out of individual goal scores I liked last night. I had Robo, he ended up putting one in the back of that. I had Matthews too, but Jake Allen, I was riding him in fantasy. He had a great performance, even though the Devils are kind of out of it. But yeah, I mean, we'll get back to it. Some more anytime goal scorers, you'll see those on the cards. But let's talk about these power rankings a bit more. We're kind of getting off track. There's Carolina Hurricanes, like you said, another great team out of the Metro. Anybody else that's really raising your eyebrows?
I mean, dude, there's 7 teams in the league that are within 3 points for the number 1 spot. These power rankings really don't mean a lot because I think that you could put any one of the 7 teams at any spot. But obviously the Bruins getting left out. I mean, you could say the Bruins are the best team in the league, and you can make a
Yeah,
very
no, I get what
valid
you're saying.
argument for it. But I don't know. This is going to be a really tight race. I think this is going to be one of the hardest cups to win with how tight all these top teams are and how well they're playing against each other. Like that Bruins game last night, that's just an awesome game. And if you could see it, you could see a Bruins Panthers second round matchup. I think. I mean, you're going to see all these series go 7 games. I think. But
Dallas
this is
Stars really getting back into it too.
Stars too.
That was my preseason Western Conference pick. I said, yeah, the Avs are good, but the Stars are getting back into the mix. You have the Canucks out there. You
How
have the Oilers.
how scary do you think the Stars really are, though?
I think the scariest team because Jake Ottinger hasn't even played good, and they're really good.
In my opinion, I'm taking all 6 other teams ahead of them in that top 17.
Really,
They're
I'm not. I know I've said it all year long, and I'm gonna stick to it. I'm not a believer in those Canucks come playoff time.
maybe
We'll have to see.
maybe above the Canucks. Maybe above the Canucks.
Yeah.
But I
Other
mean,
than that, you're right though.
you're taking the Avs, Panthers, Bruins. I'm taking the Rangers. I don't know if you are.
Rangers and
Um,
Hurricanes.
Hurricanes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean
taking all
those
of them as well.
those
But the
are
Dallas Stars, they're a really
fun.
good team, and their depth is there. I mean, they're loaded at every position. That roster, top to bottom, is one of the top ones. But yeah, enough talk about these top 7. That's pretty easy. Let's look at some of the other teams that are missing out right now, or just on the cusp. The Caps and the Predators, they kind of have a reason to even be thought about being put in this top 5. We wouldn't have thought this months ago, but they're crazy stat lines in the last few games. I think the Predators are what 16-0-2 in their last 18.
Yeah, they've gotten points in 18 straight games. It's just ridiculous. Even last night they were down 4-2 late in the third, come back
4-1.
pot
They were down 4-1 to
4-1, but
Vegas.
it was 4-2 late and
Yeah.
pot 2 late, and then they win in OT. I mean, that's just incredible. That team, I mean, they're getting hot at the right time. Unless they run into the Avs, I think that whoever they match up with in that first round is going to have it be in for a tough matchup.
Yeah, I
Avs
agree
will
with
probably
you.
roll them, but I mean,
I think so too, but UC
Avs.
Stars can keep you in any game. You could see a lot of overtime matchups and whatnot. That West wildcard spot's coming down to the wire. But yeah, the Capitals though in the East, you put them on the card last night. Ended up cashing overtime. Can't remember.
Great
Oh, who
game
put
too.
it?
I mean,
Dylan Strome, who's been electric. Guys like McMichael, Strome, all these other young guys stepping into these roles. I mean, Ovechkin's there, but that team's been great, and you're riding the streak.
I like that Caps team, to be honest. I think that they're going to get that last playoff spot as well. But yeah, they're playing really good hockey. Ovechkin's finding the back of the net a lot. I know I said a few weeks ago how bad he was this year and how he's just waiting to break the record. And it was true. I mean, he had 8 goals in the first 50 games of the season, but he's been going off. He's been going off lately. So props to him. Props to the Caps. I think that we're looking at a Rangers Caps first round matchup as well. So that'd be a good one to get to look
A
forward to.
lock and shake out for those top 2 seeds in the East. But yeah, the Caps looking like they're going to lock their spot, and none of us predicted them a while ago until the streak started. None of us even thought of them as a wild card team. We thought they were
Because
dead in the
I
water with
mean,
the Penguins.
I've never thought the Caps were good, but they last year they had nothing to show for it. This year they didn't really make much more moves. They just kind of got older, but I mean, they're coming together. They're playing really good hockey.
Yeah, and then other than that, one team we never talk about, maybe it's our bias, Boston, New York, Pittsburgh, but Philadelphia Flyers, they gave you guys a run for your money last night. They gave us a run for our money the other day. It looked like we had them games in hand, and they just keep putting pucks in.
Dude,
That's a pesky team.
that top line with Owen Tippett, Mark Frost, I think his name is, and
Morgan Frost.
Morgan Frost and Konechny. Holy
Yeah.
shit, they buzzed, dude. They put the puck in the net, and they were. I mean, Shesterkin had a very good game last night, even though he gave up
That's why
5.
they
There was
that's why they
a lot of
dealt
broken
Claude
goals, but
Giroux.
dude,
Flyers
they
are
buzz and they find ways to get to just like rebound after rebound, and they just find ways to put the puck in the net. It's actually really fun to watch. That team's pretty good, a lot better than I expected.
they're 4-4-2 in their last 10. Flyers.
Yeah, that's
Flyers.
valid. I mean, they hang
I
around.
feel
That's
like
the thing. They play
they're-
good
I mean, the
teams.
roster
They went on a
roster's-
stretch, and then I feel like they just dropped for a minute. I mean, I think
they're
they'll be
holding
okay,
on.
but
They're holding on for
Yeah.
dear life right now, and I think that it's going to be good enough to get a playoff spot. Caps keep rolling. It's going to be hard to keep that third spot over them, but
Caps are only 1 point behind them. So
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think the Caps are
2
hot, and they're going
games-
to take it.
2
You
games
know
in
what's
hand.
Mackie, you're a goaltender. Listen
oh
to this.
shit, I didn't even realize that.
You know what's tough for me to think about though? Carter Hart, we know what's going on with him. He has been playing hockey for a while. Samuel Ersson stepped in the net, played well, but his workload jumped a ton. Something he's not used to in the NHL. I think he's going to be faltering down the stretch. That's why they're having all these
I-
high scoring games.
How old is he? I mean, I think that he loves this.
Yeah,
He's
but
24
I
years
don't-
old. He is mint. He could play
but
82
I don't think he's.
games.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what I'm
60
saying. But he's not good enough to do it that often at this level. I don't think.
He's been playing pretty good hockey. I mean, what that team went through this year and how well they were doing at that point, everyone said right after
Yeah,
that scandal
he did
came
well
out,
early.
they're gonna fall, and they didn't
Yeah,
because of him.
If you've looked recently, though, their high scoring games and maybe the stretch that Jesse's talking about of mediocrity, it seems like there's some attrition setting in, giving up 5 goals. When he plays these good teams, he's the reason that I think if I saw them in the first round, if you saw them in the first round or anywhere in the playoffs, we think we'd roll them in 4 or 5 games because they have a goaltender that's not marquee, young guy who's already had a long season under his belt, playing a lot of back-to-back games, kind of beat up. Not even that great either. I think it's more credit to their offense and the coaching that Tortorella does. Tortorella bringing in that mindset of the team, not me, and they don't really have a superstar to beat me. He even benched his captain the other day, which was crazy, Sean Couturier. But other than that, I don't think this team poses any threat come playoff time, and they're going to drop their Metro 3 spot to the Caps, I believe.
Well, I honestly think the East is really top heavy. So I mean, all
Both of
those lower teams are going to be running into some tough matchups. That I don't really think there's going to be many upsets in the East this year in the first round. But I mean, they're just one of those teams that
Where do you put the Lightning? Are they in the top? They're in the only team that's in between that bottom tier and the top
I
tier.
think it. I think it depends on their matchup. Right now, I mean, they're running into the Panthers. Panthers are the Panthers in 5 probably.
Yeah, but that's a great I mean, we'll see. Battle of Florida will show up large. Like
Oh
that's a
wait, no, they're
rivalry.
running into the Bruins right now. If the playoffs started, it'd be Bruins Lightning.
Yeah, I think the Lightning will give the toughest series to anybody out of the. I don't think the Flyers and Caps give a series. I think the Lightning will. Andre
I mean,
Vasilevsky,
you're
Victor
more
Hedman,
scared.
Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, Steven Stamkos. Like they have.
You're
the
more
names.
scared of the Lightning than you are the Caps and the Flyers for sure, like without a doubt.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd rather see the Lightning than the Leafs. I'll say.
I'd rather see the Leafs. Give me the Leafs. I know they can score, but they have goaltending woes. I don't want to see Andre Vasilevsky. I want to see Joseph Wall or Ilya Samsonov.
Dude, you could see Andre Vasilevsky gets lit up with this defense,
But
He
he's still
does.
playoff Vasilevsky. Have you ever seen him play poorly in the playoffs?
They lost. Yes, last year they lost 4-3 in the first round.
Yeah, what'd you say? 4 games to 3?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a 7-game
Leafs
series.
won a game
Have you
7.
ever seen Andre Vasilevsky?
Isn't that
just,
crazy?
like-
We're talking about Vasilevsky being bad because he lost a game 7. No, but
Yeah.
obviously you don't want to run into Vasilevsky, but I'd rather run in. I think I'd rather run into the Lightning than the Leafs.
Yeah,
Leafs scare me. I don't know why. They don't scare you because you've dominated them for 20 years, your entire life.
in this whole season we swept them. It's just they
Yeah.
have. How important is goaltending? Last year that was a different story. That's an outlier in my opinion.
Oh, dude, we've talked about this a lot. It's usually not the marquee goalies that win the championship.
But these
except
guys
for Vasilevsky.
they're not even serviceable though. Like the Toronto goalies aren't even serviceable.
They are for for a round
They're
win.
not though. They're not though.
For
Like,
one round, I
have
think
you
that they can get it
followed
done.
Joseph Wall and Ilya Samsonov all year?
And Snub actually didn't he have okay, obviously he started the season like worst season in like
He's winning
statistically.
games now, but he's still having a sub 900 save percentage.
I don't know. I mean, dude, the Leafs can score, and the Rangers like they can go on games where like a skid of games where they are not scoring at all.
Yeah,
So like
and but
we
let's talk
need
about that. Let's talk about that thing you were talking about though, like the non-Vasilevsky goalies. At least Bennington was very hot going into the playoffs, and he was considered a starting goalie. At least Aiden Hill was very hot and in front of a great defensive
Aiden
core.
Hill. Aiden Hill did not go into the playoffs as the starting goalie.
No, but like defensive core in front of him. That's the other thing that the Leafs don't have the defense that can support a weak
Lightning
goalie.
don't either. The Lightning do not
Yeah,
have a
but no,
strong
they have the goalie that can support a bad
Okay,
defense.
true. Okay, there
You
you
get what
go.
I'm saying? Like, there's no
Yes, I get
support on
that.
the back end. They can't keep pucks out of the net. That's why I'm not worried
Yeah,
about the Leafs too
you're
much.
right.
But they can put them in.
That's
They
a
can
good
put them in.
argument.
They can put them in.
So you're more scared of the Lightning than the Leafs?
Yeah, I
What
am.
about the Caps and the Leafs?
The Caps suck. The Caps and the Flyers are done. They're
I'm
losing in
praying.
4. They're losing
I'm
in 4 or
praying we
5.
get the Caps, bro. I'm
Would
praying
you
we
be
get the
mad if you
Caps.
got the Flyers?
No, of course not.
No.
I don't want to see the Lightning or the Leafs.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's either the Lightning or the Caps for us. But
That's
you
why we
dropped
need
the.
that
You'd rather see the Carolina Hurricanes or the Lightning? That's your question.
the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm not, dude. Don't ask me why. I'm just not scared of them at all.
Actually, that's not even a possible matchup. It'd be the Lightning, Flyers, or Caps for you.
Second round it would be Hurricanes.
Yeah, yeah. If you can even honestly, it might not be a bad deal to take that second seed in the Metro. Go play
Nah, we're
some.
not gonna drop to it. We want that. I want the 1 seed in the East so we can get that second wild card.
Yeah, that's
But
the
I
best
kind of
spot to
don't want
be.
the President's Trophy. And then you want
Yeah,
you want the home field in the second or home ice in
yeah.
the second
You
round.
want home ice in the second round against the Canes. Yeah, good talk. There are a lot of good stuff going on in the NHL here. More East heavy than the West, but the West is heating up too. Connor McDavid doing his thing out there. Just beating the Jets last night, who are also one of the best teams in hockey. Connor Hellebuck, he's been a little shaky of late, but I still think he's getting that Vezina. You have any objection
Yeah,
to
he's
him?
pretty locked in.
Yeah, I think so too, especially with the Demko injury. How big do you think the Demko injury is for the Canucks? I don't know how long he's actually out for, but even just
I
coming
mean,
back from injury, you're not going to be the same right away.
yeah, I mean, if he can be the same, I don't think it's obviously going to make a difference. But I mean, you're going into the playoffs. You need your goalie who's pretty much gotten you there. Obviously, they have all the star power on offense
I
as well.
guess I
I'm
guess
not
my
saying they're
question
lacking offense, but
is my question is, do they need him to return to the form he was playing to have any chance?
yes, 1,000%.
Okay.
Because again,
I
we both said we're not really scared of this team come playoff
mhm.
time. If your goalie, who like second best goalie in the
Yeah,
league this year,
yeah.
if he's not playing at what he needs to be, you're in playoff hockey now. Your offense isn't going to be putting up as many points as they were in the regular season.
Yeah.
It's just not how it goes. So if your goalie's not playing that well, then they could be in trouble. But I think they get out of the first round.
Yeah.
I think those wild
I
card teams are just a little too weak.
what if you saw them versus the Nashville Predators?
What about the Vegas?
Yeah, I hope
It's going to be
I I
Preds and
might have
Vegas are the wild card
I might
teams.
have changed my stance as Vegas getting in as me cheering for them. I don't know if I want them to get in. I wouldn't mind seeing them fumble the bag like you were saying last week.
They're not going. I was looking at it. It'd be a really bad, or really big bag fumble because it's like 10 games left. They have like 5 points in hand. You got to
They have
really
6 in
fall apart.
hand.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
they're
and don't
locked
they have a
in, but
game in hand as well?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, a
no,
game in
that's
hand and 6 points. 10 games
so they
left.
finessed the cat. Mark Stone coming back from the dead like he came out of
So
Tomb
now you
Bong.
see Avs Knights first round. The Avs will smoke them, right?
I don't know. That's not the 8 seed you want to see.
Canucks Preds. If the Preds keep rolling like this, I mean, I'm gonna retract my statement. The West
Better
playoff teams,
upsets.
or
All right, here's a good take.
the
Better
West
upsets in the
wild
West than the
card.
East.
Yeah, for sure. I don't
Yeah.
think there's gonna be upsets in the East.
No, it's going to be pretty tight throughout. Lightning would be the only one I'm going to say. Lightning, I think, have a chance. Especially, I think their best chance is the Battle of Florida too, which is crazy to say.
Not the battle in Boston.
No, I think we have a better chance over them. I just think the fact that rivalry runs a bit larger down there, so close, two teams that know each other even more than anybody else. The most familiarity, the Lightning little brothering the Panthers so many times with that core group. Um, I
Could
think
see it.
that's their best chance of getting out of the first round.
Yeah, could definitely see it. I mean, that too, the Atlantic is the gauntlet.
Yeah, it is.
Unless you have the 1 seed, you're guaranteed to win, like, crazy first
Series,
2
yeah,
rounds.
great series. I wouldn't mind New York Rangers and Flyers or Caps in the first round. Then you get Panthers, Lightning, Bruins, Leafs. I mean, I want the Bruins to finish as high as they can, but that would be a crazy playoff
That's what I
bracket.
feel like I think we're gonna get that. Rangers have a pretty friendly schedule coming up besides this next game against the Avalanche.
But they're also, like we said, they're so close. The cookie could crumble anyway.
You're right.
Alrighty, boys. Good stuff there out of the NHL. Jumping over to the college basketball world. Just some stats here before we get going. Since the beginning of March Madness, the boys are 12-3, plus 9.74 units. Since the beginning of the season, we are 129, 84-4, plus 41.76 units there on the year. So tons of good stuff coming out of the college basketball world. You guys got anything to say about that? And Mackie, if you want to lead into what we got coming up here this weekend.
Mackie, start with a recap of some of these great games that you guys have been cashing on lately, because it's been fire.
Yeah, I just want to say 41 units on simply 1 unit plays, a few 2-unit plays here and there. It's just absolutely insane. We're hitting at 60%. 60% is just almost unheard of over a 220 game sample size. So these numbers we put up this year are basically just comical, but yeah, it's pretty impressive. I don't know how it's not getting more attention, to be honest. But yeah, March Madness has been great so far. First day we went 5-1. Only loss being Nevada, who blew a 17-point lead in the final 7 minutes, I think. So we were definitely robbed of a sweep there. But and then last Sunday, I think, yeah, the last day of the round of 32, we went 4-0, sweeping the board. So finished out 12-3. It's been crazy. We're seeing the board really well, and yeah, not a lot of upsets either. The public absolutely ate. I think they went 36-13 in the first 2 rounds. So I think we could see that definitely flip going forward. But yeah, these Sweet 16 matchups, they're all not a lot of, like I said, not a lot of upsets. So they're all pretty good. We're in for a really good Sweet 16. But all 4 1 seeds get through. All 4 2 seeds get through. Auburn goes down, only 4 seed, and then Kentucky went down as the only 3 seed. So Ace, what do you got to say about March Madness so far?
Yeah, I'm excited. Like you said, not a lot of upsets there. Like I said, I've been alluding to this all year. I become a big college basketball fan come March, just like everybody else. But it's so exciting. How can you not? Um, we have some great contests coming up. Really, really great play style too. A lot of NBA hopefuls and whatnot on these top end teams, guys on big NIL deals and whatnot. So I'm excited to see the competition that we get in this Sweet 16. It's going to be tougher to pick too, because like I like riding some of those favorites. Obviously, I do what you guys everything you put out, but then I do some of those favorites too. But there's some good stories out of that first round. Some good games as well. I think the Texas A&M Houston game was crazy. That was the first 1 seed to almost be upset. UConn's, they've looked dominant, and I saw some stuff today. Could they be in the playoffs in the East in the NBA? Probably not. But like it's like the Alabama Crimson Tide beating an NFL team. That kind of theory. But they've been trouncing people. The Iowa State and Illinois, I've been riding them a good bit. I still am happy to say I have Purdue, and then Huff told me to put a UNC one in. You guys have the future. I have them winning 2 of my brackets, Purdue winning 1, so I got those guys alive. But it's been some great stuff all around. Great games.
Yeah, like Ace said, we have UNC pending right now. We have plus 2,000, I think. We got it before conference tournament, so we had it a while. We also have UNC reaching the Elite Eight. We got that before the tournament. We got plus 160, and now they're obviously minus 4.5 to win the Sweet 16 game. So you have very good hedging opportunities on that if you got that one in. But yeah, these matchups coming up for the Sweet 16, we'll get into that more over the live stream. But gonna be some good games. Definitely a few very good.
Didn't you hit on the Duke to reach the Sweet 16 bet as well?
Yeah, that was another future we hit. We hit Duke to reach the Sweet 16 at minus 110. Got it with ease as well. So No
What'd you
sweats.
think of
No sweats as
what'd you
well.
what'd you think of some of those early round upsets? We didn't have many in the round of 32, but the round of 64 we saw some. We saw what's his name, Jack Golke, win that one. Or how do you say his
Jack
name?
Golke from Oakland, yeah. We I mean, I thought I kinda knew the Cinderella story was gonna be gone. You're running into NC State, who, NC State's actually a very good team. They're on
That
a
big
hot streak
man's
right now.
great on the
Yeah,
watch.
DJ Burns, he's become kind of the idol of March Madness this year, but Jack Golke, yeah, he shot 8 two-pointers the entire season. Incredible story, but, obviously, like everyone says, their greatest pastime is watching March Madness and seeing these future accountants, like, just lighting up these first-round draft picks next year. It's like, these guys are not like, Jack Golke, you'll never hear from him again, but, he definitely lit it up in that first round. That was cool.
Yeah,
And then who
it's
else?
something to say
Who
about that. Knowing that next year though, that's like one of those teams. They played a young squad, probably right, and they have like those COVID seniors, 25 years old, whatnot. The veteran team took out the young ones there, so that was kind of funny to see, in my opinion.
And I mean, you think about it, Kentucky gives up 100 points a game, then you have this kid who's literally shot 8 two-pointers the entire season. Comes in, lights it up for 33, of course, because he's just getting wide open threes left and right. But that was definitely a cool game to watch. Then the other one, Auburn. Auburn going down was crucial. A lot of people had them. If you don't have UNC or UConn winning, you probably had Auburn beating them in a Sweet 16. That was me. But Auburn took a tough beat to
I
Yale.
only had Auburn
The
winning
Ivy
one
Leagues.
game.
Last year, Princeton got to the Sweet 16, beating Arizona in the first round. This year, you got Yale beating Auburn. So these Ivy Leagues are definitely tough to play against.
Meanwhile, if you go to conference play of the not even the tournament, just early conference play, it's probably not many people at those games in general.
No, of course
Um,
not. They probably got
my
2,000
local
people
Brown, Rhode Island,
capacity.
they went to the I think the semifinals or championship of the
Brown
Ivies.
was a favorite.
Yeah, and they're brutal. No offense to them, but yeah, some other great games there as well. I thought some cool quotes were seeing the Michigan State quote from Tom Izzo versus the Bill Self quote. Bill Self's terrible quote there seemed pretty arrogant. He goes, "I've been looking at next year for over a month now." Like, buddy,
Yeah,
you were a
what a
top seed in
loser,
March
dude.
Madness. Meanwhile, you have Tom Izzo with a lower seeded team losing to a good team in the round of 32. They lost to UNC, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
lost to UNC in round 2, so you can hang your hat on that. But he said, "I'll die trying to get past further in the tournament. I'll do whatever." So two different coaching styles there. So you see, March brings out the best in everybody.
Yeah, and Michigan State didn't have the team this year. So that win that first game was probably all Tom Izzo. Then you have Bill Self, who's also a very good coach. Um well-known coach as well. But I mean, to say that with that roster, I mean, you got Hunter Dickinson as well. Looking for You're looking forward to next season for a whole month going in. You're going in as a 4 seed, dude. Like you're playing in the best conference in college basketball in the Big 12. You have that to say about that team. It's just embarrassing, but I don't
What's
know.
his name? Colex on Marquette, right?
What'd you say? Yeah, Tyler
That guy.
Kolek. Yeah,
Yeah, I think he's from Rhode Island, isn't he?
I have no idea.
I think he is, and
No
we've
idea.
been watching a lot of him. Shaka Smart on the sidelines too. That guy's pretty funny to watch.
So you guys are all you Rhode Island heads are just up there like, yo, he's from Rhode Island, dude. Like
Yeah, yeah. I was
every time
watching
he
the
touches the ball, that guy's from Rhode Island, man.
yep,
There's like
the
18 people
the
here.
the white guy just playing the game right, hitting the clutch shots though at the end to make sure they held on for a win. That Marquette team, they gotta be pretty happy. They're going further than they usually do with a good chance here. That's a good team. Who else do you think outside of the one seeds? Give me a couple teams that you think that can make a good run here to the Final Four.
Iowa State. I mean, they're a 2 seed. They probably have like the fifth
But
longest
they're playing
odds, but
Illinois. That's a tough game. I like
it
Illinois
is
a
a
lot.
tough game. Every single game right now is pretty much a tough game. Um, who does NC State play? I mean, that's probably going to be the easiest game,
Are they
whoever
playing
they're
Clemson?
playing. No, Clemson is not favorites. Clemson is playing a 2 seed.
Arizona?
Let me look at it. No, Arizona is playing Clemson. Yes. Illinois, Iowa
Arizona get
State.
over the hump?
I think it's set up for UNC Arizona. It's Caleb Love versus old team. There's
Mm.
a lot of history with Caleb Love in that UNC team. So I think it's set up for that in the Elite Eight. That's going to be a really good game if they can get
Is
there.
that the one you
But
guys kind of alluded to when we talked about this last week?
yeah, we said this was. I've been saying this since the bracket came out. This is set up for an Elite Eight matchup. But NC State against Marquette. I think NC State's run comes to an end here. Marquette is really good. They're playing a weaker team, but I don't know. I've seen crazier upsets. Tennessee, Creighton.
I like Tennessee.
I like Tennessee as well. There's a lot of money going into Creighton, but Creighton's really good as well. That's going to be a good matchup. I think Gonzaga hangs with Purdue. I really do. I think
Am I the
Gonzaga
only
matches
person
up.
that thinks that Purdue's good?
No, I think Purdue is very good. We took them to cover last game and everything.
No, I know, I know.
I
No,
just think
I'm
Gonzaga.
saying like long term in the rest of this tournament.
Yes, I don't think. I just don't think they have it in them to. They have the Big Ten hasn't had a Final Four team since like 2014, 2015. Big Ten always finds ways to choke. I don't think this team is really that good. They if Edey has one bad game, he gets in a foul trouble one game, your entire game plan changes. You cannot adapt to that in an Elite Eight game against another number 2 seed or whatever. I think they're gonna run into trouble somewhere. But Gonzaga, they might run into trouble this week. I think that Gonzaga can they match up really well against them. They can go on a little run. I don't know. It's gonna be a good game. But yeah, a lot of good matchups. Holy shit. North Carolina, Alabama should be good. I really like Iowa State. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch. I mean, as a guy who's like a seasonal college basketball fan, I feel like this is one of the more easy to read fields than we've seen in a while. All those top seeds winning, but I'm
This
saying, I think
is
these Sweet 16 is going to be so competitive now with like not so many bad teams.
that's what I'm saying. This is the type of bracket that people look like and they're like, wow, gambling's so easy. 'Cause like there's like no upsets. And we're like, yeah, this is like the first time this ever happens. But yeah, everyone's like, yeah, there's no upsets. This sucks. Wait till now when you have all these top teams playing each other in winner go home games. You
Now
know how
it's going to be tough
intense
to
all
pick.
these games are gonna be? It's gonna be very tough to pick, and you're gonna see
I
a
feel like we
lot.
haven't seen much overtime yet. I know that A&M Houston game, we're going to see it a bit more now, right?
We should. We should. I don't know. These are going to be really good games. We're in for a great Sweet 16, and the Elite Eight is going to be even better.
You better have the locks for us, Mackie. I'm trusting you, but you have the track record proven too.
Yeah, I think we'll be good. Me and Huff have our eyes on a few games already, so we'll have those plays out.
Good stuff there, boys. Out of the college basketball world, make sure to stay tuned for all of our live streams here. We'll be done with the one by this time, the time this episode comes out, but the one on Saturday for the next round. What round would that be? Is that the Elite Eight?
Yeah, next round is the Elite Eight.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, next round there on Saturday for the Elite Eight. We
Jesse, not
also
to cut you
have
off real quick, you sound like every sports fan flipping through the channels. Oh, I missed that.
dude.
Oh, it's
I
women's
just
college
I was
basketball.
like I need to click on whatever.
Please don't hate on us. I like women's college basketball. I put this note in, so don't take that offensively.
The NCAA Women's March Madness Tournament rolls along as we approach the Sweet 16 on Friday. Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes and her new NIL deal have been doing well this tournament, pulling out some impressive wins. What are you guys thinking on this? Ace, you got anything for this?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been watching too much of it, but Caitlin Clark seems like she's grabbing everybody's attention. I saw something the other day that said she's the highest NIL earning player in March Madness for both men's and women's with a 3.1 million. So that's kind of crazy. But she played our West Virginia Mountaineers the other day. Huff would have been on this one with me because I think he watched the game and they got
I watched it
outshot
as
in
well.
free throws like 30-5 or something like that, and the game was super close. So you hate to see that. But Caitlin Clark, she's got superstar written all over her. I saw who is that does the Big Three league? Is that Ice Cube? Said to give her
Ice Cube,
like
yeah.
$8 million to come play 10 games in his league or something like that. But
It
she
was
was talking
5 mil, but that's
5 million. Yeah, she was
so
talking the talk
crazy.
after the West Virginia win. That seemed kind of controversial from the box score, but I don't know, Mackie. You seem to maybe watch a little bit of it, catch some games. Do you think there's any teams? I know South Carolina's really good, LSU, but is Caitlin Clark looking to grab a national title here?
Here's what I'm gonna say about that W Iowa game. Free throws were 5-30, and in the fourth quarter, the score was 16-16 in the fourth quarter. Iowa had 14 points off free throws in the fourth quarter. West Virginia had 0. So, I think that game was definitely skewed so Caitlin Clark can get to the next round, but it's for good reason. I mean, everything that we say about women's sports is that they need attention. They need the global field. They need all eyes on them. The reason that this season has been better is because of Caitlin Clark, because of Angel Reese, because of Paige Buchers, because you have these star players that everyone knows. So they're going to make it so that these players match up in the final rounds because obviously you're going to get more viewership. And that's the whole thing with women's sports is that they need more viewership. So I understand the rig in this sense, but I mean games like this, like that's just like the most obvious thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like at least try to hide it. But other teams that I think that can win. I don't think anybody's beating USC, South Carolina. I mean, they haven't lost a
Yeah,
game
they've
all
been on
season.
fire. Yeah.
They haven't lost a game all season. They have that big girl. I don't even know what her name is, but
Yeah. I know who you're
she's
talking.
huge. She's a dog. That team is so good. I don't think Iowa's that good, to be honest. I think that they'll get past this round. You're going to see Iowa LSU in the Elite Eight because, like I said before, they want to see that matchup. They could their road could end there. I think UConn is really good this year. I
Paige
think Paige
Buchers is
Buchers.
really good. Yeah. She got
I think
hurt
she's the
last year,
best.
right?
Yeah, she was out all last year. I think she's the best player in college. Um, Caitlin Clark's the flashiest, obviously, but I think Paige
Paige Buchers is
probably.
young too, sophomore, or she
I don't
missed her
know.
freshman year technically. So
I don't know her age,
I remember
but
seeing her Instagram highlights coming out of high school. But yeah, there's a lot of big superstars for the woman coming up, so that's good to see. It's all the big name schools. It seems like they're not many random schools there. You got USC, LSU, Iowa, and
Texas is a
UConn.
1 seed.
Yeah, so like that's pretty cool to see. So maybe it'll gain some more traction. Hopefully they embrace the stardom though, because it kind of goes downhill once they get to the pros. Tough to see, but true.
But yeah, I mean that West Virginia game, that was just it was like every play there was a foul and there was like nothing there. It was like, what is going on? Like, I've never seen
Caitlin
anything
Clark
like.
getting the LeBron treatment, but of women's college basketball,
It's
she
not.
is
It
the
wasn't even
LeBron.
like it like wasn't even just her. It was everyone on that team. It was just the craziest thing I've ever seen, to be honest.
Alrighty, boys, good stuff out of the whole college basketball world, men's and women's. Those March Madness tournaments, full steam ahead here. I'm not 100% sure when the women's championship game is, but the men's championship game on Monday, April 8th there. So make sure to tune in for our live stream then. Moving forward here to the NBA, we have our power rankings here to get us started. Coming in at number 5, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Number 4, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Number 3, the Milwaukee Bucks. Number 2, the Denver Nuggets. And number 1, those Boston Celtics. What are you guys thinking here about these power rankings for this week here, March 28th? Mackie, you want to get us started?
Yeah, Celtics don't even have to say anything. We talk about them every single week. How they're number 1. Nobody's touching them. They will finish the season at 1. Unanimous. Number 2, Nuggets. I mean, Jesus, this team has been playing absolutely incredible. 4-game win streak. They're 9-1 in their last 10. This is a nightmare. This is the last team that the Celtics want to see in the championship, and I think we're gonna see them. But any other team, I think the Celtics just roll through. But Nuggets, they might meet their match there. Who else we got? Who's 3? We got Bucks, Thunder, T-Wolves. Bucks are playing a lot better. They played really well without
Yeah, they're
Giannis
good.
for a
And
little.
Giannis is back though.
But terrible loss the other night to the Lakers. I mean, they were up 17 at
Crazy
one point.
game
Ended
though.
up
Crazy
blowing it.
game though.
Yeah, great game. Thunder and the T-Wolves. I mean, these two teams I'm just not sold on for the playoffs yet. But the Thunder, I'm definitely a little more sold on. T-Wolves, I think they can run into some trouble depending on their matchup.
You and I have
But
shit on them for a while.
yeah, Buff's not.
SGA getting that sneaker deal though, huh? You see that? I mean, Thunder, they're getting coach of the year. Shea getting the sneaker deal. They're getting a lot of notoriety. I agree with you that they're not ready, but that team, they're poised for success over the next decade.
Oh yeah, for sure. But they definitely have a bright future. But it might be a year too early.
Yeah, it'd be eager to see. I'm eager to see how these veteran teams that come out of the bubble play. Did you see the other day Steve Kerr and Draymond had to get separated in practice? I don't really know what's going to happen with the Warriors team like that. Are they even going to make the playoffs? I know that they're only one game in the 10th seed above the Rockets, who have been on fire lately.
I'll tell you this: they're not going to make the playoffs. They'll make the play-in. I think they'll make the play-in. They might not even make the play-in, but I think they'll make the play-in. And I mean, whoever they match up against, either the Lakers, Suns, Kings, you're getting beat. The
Mhm.
Warriors aren't good enough this year. Lakers are trying to get into that 8 seed, so they don't have to play 9, 10. Then, because when you're in that 9, 10 game, you have to win 2 games, and it kind of
Yep.
sucks. So that's 7, 8.
Warriors could do it though if they get hot. Curry gets hot. That'd be It's going to be fun to see Steph Curry in a playing game if they can get there.
We saw it a few years ago. They lost to the Grizzlies. The
Mhm.
year before the Grizzlies were a 2 seed.
Yeah, that's true. But
They went off for like 40, but I mean, it was just
that's what I'm saying.
surreal.
You know he's gonna do everything he can to keep his team in the
Yeah.
hunt. And then, like you were saying with the Celtics before, no one can really touch them. But Drew Holiday out right now, and they don't have a definite timetable on his return. I think that's a pretty massive move when it comes down to the playoffs and later conference finals, quarterfinals, and then finals. I think he's an important piece of this team.
I think if he's back by the conference finals, you're good. You're
Yeah,
not
that's
gonna
what I'm
need him for
saying.
the first 2 rounds.
But you do need
And
him when you
if
get. If you want to win the whole thing, you're gonna need him when you get deep in the playoffs.
you can genuinely you could actually end up with the Bucks in that second round matchup.
Yeah, depending on how
Eh,
the standings shake out.
I mean, you shouldn't because the Knicks and the they have 2 games on the Cavs and 2.5 on the Knicks, but it's definitely close enough to where you could see them end up in that second you could see them in that second round.
I don't
That's
think so, but I think the table's set for them in the ECF. But you're right, the standings still close. A lot can happen then. Your Knicks hanging around. It's gonna be crazy to
Knicks are just
follow though.
Knicks are just trying to get home court. Magic are right behind them. It's actually a really close battle in that 3 through 5 seeds. NBA is going to be a good playoffs this year.
Yeah, yeah, we'll get some more news as we get closer. We're getting close to the NBA playoffs. We're more of an NHL side of this part of the season in the March Madness right now. But once we get past March Madness, we'll dive deeper into the NBA for you and have some more insights.
Yeah, I forgot to talk about that at the beginning of the episode. NBA playoffs begin April 20th. NHL playoffs begin April 22nd. That's when the first set of games will begin. So lots to look forward to as we get closer to those as well here in the next month. Let's keep it going here as the MLB is also starting this month, in the month of April. So let's start off with our power rankings before going into this season. Coming in at number 5, the Texas Rangers. Number 4, the Baltimore Orioles. Number 3, the Houston Astros. Number 2, the Atlanta Braves. And number 1, those Los Angeles Dodgers with that iffy Otani news coming out. What are you guys thinking here coming out of this before we let Ace go off with what he has for opening day and the rest of the season? Move on.
Mackie, you're welcome for putting the defending champs in our power.
Because fuck the Phillies, that's why. No, I'm kidding. I don't really care about the Phillies because the Mets are going to have a bad year anyway. But Dodgers are not the 1 seed if Otani is actually found guilty and not playing. I will say that. Braves are definitely the better team without Otani on that roster, on the Dodgers roster. We saw it last year. Dodgers are obviously still up there, but especially with everything going on, I mean, you're going to see clubhouse problems. They're definitely going to have a few more losses than they should. But Astros, Orioles, Rangers, like Ace said, the Rangers could have a more down year than last year. Obviously, coming off the championship, it's going to be tough to live up to those standards again. But Orioles, I mean, I saw people projecting them like 96 wins this year. That roster looks really good. You got Gunnar Henderson coming up playing really well. What's that guy, Jackson Holiday? He looks like a beast in preseason. But um, Astros, obviously, that roster is stacked as well. It's going to be a really good season. I think there's a lot of teams that could give those top teams a run for their money, and we could see another team like the Rangers go on a nice run and win another championship.
That's what I'm
You love to
saying.
see the teams that you love to see the non-Dodgers or Astros or Braves. You like to see those different teams win it.
You know those teams will be there, those top end
Yeah.
Dodgers, Braves, Astros. But you're right. And I said this last week. I alluded to it when we were talking about World Series favorites. Remember, I said, "Oh, Jesse, give me the Rays odds just so I can." That's a team that I think could catch some fire. They always develop very well. There's some other ones too that I always look at. But baseball is one of the ones where almost anybody could have a tough season and win it. Um, but we'll have to see come down the stretch. I know I have some good notes here. Ready for this opening day. I'm hyped about baseball. I know this isn't the hype time for baseball because you really have March Madness Sweet 16. You have the NHL playoffs, the NBA playoffs just around the corner. But once we get there, everybody seems to be locked into it. We get our podcast a bit more tuned in. Mac gets more tuned in. Jesse's got me that MLB TV, which is massive. I'm looking forward to those day games starting tomorrow. But yeah, it's going to be a great season here. Those Dodgers are big time front runners. Behind that, people love the Orioles, but it's kind of a crapshoot. You got the top heavy favorites. But I'm ready for a great season here and to get into some of this opening day antics.
Alrighty, here and continuing through the MLB here, we got 15 opening day games here starting or for opening day tomorrow. Let's hear what Ace has got here for opening day, as well. Starting with opening day.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You want to rerun that?
no, you're fine.
All right, let's get into it. Yeah, some great stuff coming. Like I said, opening day tomorrow. I have some good picks for you as well. I know, so hopefully you can get them in We'll post some of them as well. But I wanted to start with some of these opening day ticket prices. Jesse, I thought you would think this was pretty funny. I don't know if I sent this graphic to the boys, but there are some good ones here. Coming at the highest rated ticket, which is kind of crazy to me. I know they're defending champs, but the Texas Rangers, cheapest seat in the house, $285. That's kind of wild to me. And they're playing the Cubs too. It's not like anybody great is coming to town. And then meanwhile, on the whole other side of the bracket, you want to hear the lowest team? I bet you could guess it. I went to their season opener last year, the Miami Marlins.
Oh, and
$13
the
playing
Pirates.
against your Pirates. A $13 cheapest seat opening game. I feel like we should fly down there and just go see that one. I went last year for opening day in Miami. Cheap prices, great stadium, but no matter where you are, it's a great day to be enjoying some baseball weather. Some other notable ones here. We have the Dodgers Cardinals tickets, $95. Technically not opening day for the Dodgers with that series out in South Korea. So that's something to look at as well. Yankees and Red Sox both on the road, so I feel like they'd be pretty high up there in their ticket pricing as well. But I just thought that'd be something funny to start with there. $285 for Rangers Cubs ticket. Not worth it to me, but maybe they know they're not winning.
Crazy.
They're not seeing another World Series trophy for a little while, so maybe that's why. Ring ceremony and all. But getting into some of these matchups that we get to see tomorrow, there's actually some really good ones. The first one I'm going to start out with is going to be I'll start out with the first game of the day before we get into it. At 1:10, you guys, if you're listening to this in the morning, whenever you get to it, hopefully you get to it before this. We got the Milwaukee Brewers and the New York Mets facing off. That's Mackey's New York Mets. That's not too much of a marquee matchup, but everybody's eyes will be on it just because it's the first 1 o'clock game of the new season. But jumping past that, we actually have some great matchups.
That's Fridays. That Brewers Mets game, I have it on Friday at 1:40. The first game I have tomorrow is 3:00.
Oh, they got postponed.
Am I wrong?
They just got
Oh.
postponed. Yeah, good call. They got postponed. It's rain out, and they're getting made up on the 29th. Brewers and
Dang,
Mets
okay.
rained out. Braves and Phillies rained out. That's coming to us live as we're doing the podcast. So good news for you. And you know what sucks too, Jesse? Listen to this matchup I had on tap for us. The Braves and the Phillies. Spencer Strider versus Zach Wheeler, two of the best pitchers in the NL. Two of those NL East powerhouses. So tough to see those games get rained out. That's the MLB for you. But like I said, they're Sweet 16 now, and so maybe you can watch it in that time. But on the other side, there's also some great games happening in the AL. The New York Yankees, I mean, everybody knows the Yankees. It's Huff's favorite baseball team, and he's from Pittsburgh. They're taking on the Houston Astros, who many have dubbed as one of the best teams in the MLB. They're in our power rankings already, as you saw. And it's going to be Nestor Cortez versus Framber Valdez. And Nestor Cortez getting the start because of Garrett Cole's injury that's going to keep him out for a while. We're going to have to see how that ace really takes to it with him missing that start. And then I thought the third one was going to be another AL East matchup here. The Toronto Blue Jays, who many have dubbed as an up-and-coming team, but they're just in the toughest division in baseball, are traveling to Tampa Bay, where it'll be Jose Varios versus Zach Eflin. That's also going to be a really good game. I expect it to be low-scoring. One thing I do suggest, low-scoring games on opening day. I know a lot of people want to see runs, love betting the over, but there's a lot of great starters going. Everybody's aces up on the mound. You're going to see a lot of nerfies out there. I do have an opening day lock parlay that I'm hoping those can get in. These games have not been rained out naturally. So we got the most expensive ticket, the Texas Rangers. I think they're going to win on their ring ceremony day as they're taking on the Chicago Cubs at home. We're going to parlay them with the Baltimore Orioles in a light matchup and the Arizona Diamondbacks to end the night, last game of the night against the Colorado Rockies. I think that's a good three-teamer there. You're going to be sitting at plus like above 200 there with all three teams. Two of them coming below 150, and then the D-backs sitting at minus 210 around there. I saw earlier they have Zach Gallen on the mound, so I love that. But that's going to be a good parlay piece that I love. We're gonna have some good picks in the MLB card coming throughout the year, like I said. But good opening day slate, and then we already get some double headers on Friday, so that rain out, I guess it does have a silver lining nonetheless. But yeah, some good opening day stuff to look forward to. I got some more stuff for the rest of the MLB, but yeah, going to be a great day tomorrow. Excited for baseball to be back.
Love it, Ace. Love it. Lots of good stuff to look forward to there for opening day again tomorrow. 13 games now with those two getting rained out, but we had 15. We're down to 13 here. So going to be a good day tomorrow. Make sure to stay tuned for our picks, like Ace said. If I think Mackie and Huff are going to be focusing on the March Madness stuff, so I think Ace is going to be.
Yeah, I'll deliver
MLB.
some opening day picks for sure. You got to have a few out there in the realm, right? I have that parlay. I'm not going to put that on the card, but those of you who are listening, if you're listening to our podcast, you just got a free play right there. But I'll have some more on the official card tomorrow for sure.
Heck yeah. Why don't you keep going here, Ace, with what you think's going to happen this year, what to look out for, what to watch for, some of these division winners, maybe head into the World Series and beyond that. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, so we got 3 divisions on each side, right? And I'll start off with an easy one here. The AL East. I mean, it might not be easy to you, but it is to me. I think the Baltimore Orioles are the team to beat in this division. They've been building this farm system. They have the top prospect in Jackson Holiday. They have all these guys like Adley Rutschman who have come up, Gunnar Henderson. The pitching staff is coming together and it's healthy now too. I expect a big year out of Grayson Rodriguez. I think the Orioles are going to take that AL East, and a lot of people might put those Yankees there because the star-studded lineup. I think the injuries are going to hamper them. I don't like the staff with Nestor Cortez and Stroman too much. I think the Toronto Blue Jays will be the 2 seed in the AL East, but you can always watch out for the Blue Jays, Yankees, and Rays to be involved in that wild card mix. Red Sox, I mean, they're not going to do the worst in the league, but they'll be sitting a little under sub 500, toughest division in baseball. But yeah, I think the Orioles are the set there. Going over to the AL Central, this one's kind of a crapshoot in my opinion. A couple of teams that are trying to prove themselves, and I think the Detroit Tigers are one of them. They're going to be fighting for that division with the Minnesota Twins, who are ultimately going to win, in my opinion. Best pitcher in the AL, and Pablo Lopez, and they also have a pretty solid lineup. If they can stay healthy, that's probably their biggest concern. A couple of good prospects on both teams as well. Guardians, you would think, you have Shane Bieber, Tristan McKenzie coming off injury. They have those young guys that have really stepped into their own. A lot of young pitchers like Gaddis, a few others, Logan Allen, and they have that top prospect as well that made his debut. Can't think of his name right now, but yeah, that Gavin Williams, that's what it is. But that team, they'll hang around the mix. But I'm going to go with the Twins here, and I think the Tigers have a solid year. AL West, this is probably the toughest race here. You have the Astros, the Mariners, and the Rangers. I have the Astros winning it. I have the Rangers missing the playoffs. They might compete for a second wild card. You can get pretty in depth with the wild card in the MLB, which is nice. But I think the Mariners have a strong year. They've been really young. Their pitching staff's coming together. Their hitters are coming together. I think Julio Rodriguez, J Rod, is going to push for the home run lead. Maybe the MVP race. Like, is he in the MVP race? I think so. He's my third on this list, as we'll get to that later. But I think they're going to edge out the Rangers. I think that was not a fluke, but that was a great season by them, and I don't think it'll be repeated. Mackey, giving them their respect in the power rankings, rightfully so. But the Astros, so star-studded, and then the Mariners are the up-and-coming team in the AL West. Jumping over to the NL here, NL East, Mackey, sorry to tell you, the New York Mets are not in my 1 or 2 slot. It's going to be the Braves. It's going to be the Phillies. They're both going to make the playoffs. Two of the best teams out there. I don't even think I need to say too much. That Braves lineup, dude, crazy. I mean, the names go on and on. If there was ever a team to compete with the Dodgers for the World Series, it's them. I hope we get that NL Championship Series between them again. That would be great to see. We didn't get it last year, actually, but it would be great to see. Going over to the NL West, as I alluded to, I have the Dodgers there. How can you not have them? The odds are probably terrible to get them. I do have the Padres slotting in it too. I think they find a way to bounce back after big expectations held them back last year. I know they lost Snell, but they have a lot of great names there. They have some good prospects as well. I would like to see Ethan Salas come up in a couple of years and be a top end catcher. Diamondbacks, I think they take a step back. I don't think they're as good as they were last year. They made it to the World Series. It's kind of crazy. But Erod, who they just brought in, that was their big signing. He's on the table for a while. They don't know how long. They still have some great arms in Zach Gallen. I think they have Brandon Fatt as well and a few others. But now getting to the last division, this one has Jesse and Huff's Pittsburgh Pirates. Sorry to say, the Pirates are not in my top 2, but some people did have them in the mix for competing for this division because it's kind of wide open. Both Central divisions, AL and NL, could be won by anybody. I've got the Reds there. I'm so high on the Reds. The prospects keep going on and on. One thing that's going to hamper that is Matty McLean. Big prospect call up for them last year. He plays middle infield, bats third or second in their lineup, depending on the day. Is out on an IL stint. Just had surgery to his shoulder, I believe. So that's going to be tough. But Ellie De La Cruz and the rest of the gang will be holding it down. I like them to win the division with the Cubs following closely behind. We know they like to spend. They kept Bellinger and they got some big arms out there in the pen. So that'll be a fun division to watch. It was last year, and yeah, those are my picks for the division winners. There, I got the O's, the Twins, and the Astros in the AL, and the Braves, the Reds, and the Dodgers in the NL. Can find some good odds in some of those. I think it's worthwhile to parlay the Dodgers and the Braves, even though the Phillies could push on that side. That'd be a good futures bet to have. But going into this more, Mackie, I'd like you to jump in on some of these here. Thinking about some MVP, Cy Young, and home run king races. We'll start off with the home run king. I think you probably have the same answer as me. Who do you think is going to hit the most home runs in the MLB this year?
I probably don't. I mean, I had Otani, but I don't know about that
Because he
anymore.
gambles?
What? Well, because he's not gonna be playing. I'm gonna go Judge. I just think his home run rate, but by like the amount of times he's at bat is just like ridiculous. They're numbers you can't beat. I think he was top 2 last year, and he missed like half the season. But
Yeah, that's funny that
I'm
you
gonna go
say that.
Judge. I'm gonna go
You
Judge.
did hit the nail right on the head. 'Cause guess who the 2 names I wrote down were? Otani and Judge, because I think they're going
Wow.
to, and he has protection in his lineup with Juan Soto as well. He hate the Yankees, but you can't deny talent there. I think he gets healthy for the season. That's what you need from him to be able to be in this race. Some other big names that were up there in the odds right now. Matt Olson's up there, and I believe Pete Alonso might actually be in the hunt as well.
Yeah, I don't. He'll always be up there. I don't ever think he'll lead though.
Yeah, I'm going with Otani, just hitting as that DH for the full season, kind of shutting up the haters with his gambling allegations and his interpreter being shady. But yeah, I like Judge as well. You can't miss there. Coming in for the Cy Young, I'll give my 2 picks here. I got Pablo Lopez in the AL. He leads the league in strikeout rates and stuff like that. He's going to put up those big numbers. Twins are going to be competitive, maybe win that division this year. If they're able to win the division and he has his numbers stay the same or get better, he's going to win it in the AL. In the NL, I have Spencer Strider. Um, he's pitching for the Braves. He's going to get a lot of wins. He's a big strikeout guy too. You can tell I value the strikeouts and the wins very much. And they're pitching so often. They go deep into games. They give you 7 to 9 innings when they go. One dark horse though, he's probably going to win the NL Rookie of the Year. I know he had a terrible outing in South Korea, but Yamamoto, the new Japanese pitcher for the Dodgers, he has a chance to push for that NL Cy Young. Has a chance to win that NL Rookie of the Year award. Time's going to tell. It could be hit or miss. You never know how it is when they move over to the MLB. But I think he's going to have a great season. And then moving past that, Mac, you could maybe throw some names out here, but I'm thinking for the MVP, some names that came to my head for the NL. I went with Mookie Betts. I went with Shohei Otani once again, Ronald Acuna, and then Corbin Carroll, the young rookie of the year last year from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Then for the AL, I went with Juan Soto, Vladdy Jr., Julio Rodriguez, and maybe Bobby Witt if he can make those Royals do anything. One of the best young players in the game. But any of those names really stand out to you?
Yeah, definitely. I like your Cy Young picks. I'm gonna go Corbin Burns up in Baltimore.
Yeah, that's a good
I
one.
think obviously the team switch is going to a better team. I think that he can roll this year. And Zach Wheeler after getting paid. Let's see what he could do this year.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
you
yeah, I
hate
like
those.
those names, of course. I honestly don't think I think Otani's gonna have a down year regardless. Now, if he plays or not, he might not even play a game.
Mm. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'll believe when I see it. He's like one of the faces of
Apparently,
baseball.
apparently there's like hard evidence against him. Like he's clearly guilty.
I got him in my dynasty baseball league, so you hate to see that. But yeah, anybody else jump out? I know some of those household names like Betts, Otani, and Acuna. I threw Corbin Carroll in the mix. I know he's really young, but I think he could push for it as well. And like I said, Bobby Witt, Julio Rodriguez, Vladdy Jr., and Juan Soto in the AL MVP. Anybody you think I missed out on, or any of those that really, really jump out to you?
Shit. I like a lot of those. You said Acuna, obviously. Um, who was I just thinking of? I don't know. You covered a good amount.
Adley Rutschman, he's going to be pushing for it a little bit too with the Orioles. You can put almost
I mean,
any Oriole.
the whole Orioles
Gunnar
roster is
Henderson,
yeah, absolutely yeah.
Jackson Holiday. I
Um,
know he's starting the year in AAA. You know who that is? He's the top prospect in the
I
MLB
was
right
just
now.
talking about him before when we were talking about the power rankings. He's absolutely raking in the preseason.
Yeah. And then on the other side, if you look at the NL, I know I said Yamamoto for Rookie of the
Mookie, I
Year.
like Mookie.
Yeah, Mookie's
Mookie's a
if
dog. Give me
especially
Freddie.
if Otani can play too. You like the Dodgers. You're sticking with the Dodgers and the O's. You like those front runners to have big years.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna have those guys in the big teams when they have all the lineup support and you have to pitch these guys. They're just gonna light it up. I mean,
Hey,
you could see a big game.
I'll tell you
You
a
could see
couple
a
other
big year out
names.
of Juan Soto too.
Yeah, I think so. If he stays healthy, if him and
Corey
Judge both stay,
Seager.
if Judge and Soto both stay healthy, how crazy of a year are they going to have? Left right combo hitting next to each other.
Yeah, it should be. And you're playing in New York where they have the shortest fence out in right field, so that helps as well. But yeah,
Couple
I mean
young
they should
names
have
to couple
Yanks should have
young
a good
names
year.
to keep your eyes on. I said Jackson Holiday. This guy Jackson Churio, you heard of him?
No.
He plays for the Milwaukee Brewers. He's going to win NL Rookie of the Year if it's not Yamamoto. I know Yamamoto got the big contract, so he's a good pick for it, but he's already on the MLB roster. He's batting in the top third of their lineup. He's going to be an everyday player, speedy five-tool guy. Um, look out for him to break onto the scene. Holiday, I don't know. Junior Caminero, also a top prospect for the Tampa Bay Rays. You know, they lost Wander Franco and all those big scandals. Well, they have another top prospect, probably the number 2 prospect, I believe, filling that void right away. So I don't think he's starting the MLB either, starting AAA, but he's going to come up quick. And maybe we'll get to see that guy Skeens out in Pittsburgh at some point. I think later in the year he'll come up. He did a good job in spring training. So a lot of great stuff to look forward to in the MLB this year. I'm ready for it, and we'll get going right away. Got some live streams coming up down the tap too. Jesse, I don't know if you want to mention those here quick. Give a free plug.
Yeah, definitely working on some live streams here for the MLB. Not 100% sure when those will be occurring, but we're working on nailing down those details, and we'll get them to you as soon as we can.
It's gonna be a great season here. Ready for this MLB to get going and get some day games rolling. You know, everybody loves day sports.
Heck yeah. Do you guys have anything you want to talk about with Otani?
Mackie, do you know that situation more than me?
So the only thing I really know about it is that it was $4.1 million of bets that ended up coming out of an account in his name. And the games that they were bet on, like $1 million bets on single games, Otani was getting like lit up. Like he was pitching and he just gave up like 7 runs and 2 earned inning or 7 earned in like 2 innings. And it's like that doesn't happen a lot. And it's like specific games where it happened and he just got lit up and like they all hit. So I mean, it looks very sketchy. The only thing when it comes down to it is that like there's no hard evidence that he is guilty. So it's going to be a decision by the MLB board or whatever. And here's what's going to come into play. I mean, if it wasn't Otani, the guy's guilty 1,000%. But it's Otani, the face of the league. Is that going to come into play? Is it going to matter? I don't know.
I think so. Big.
If it does, then they're going to have to give a little leeway on. I mean, you got to be consistent with it. This is like a thing that like this keeps Pete Rose out of the Hall of Fame. And Pete Rose wasn't even betting on his own games. He was betting on other games. So they have a guy who is literally throwing games, diminishing the sport. And I mean, you're gonna just let it go. I mean, I think it's pretty. You got to set an example in this with how big gambling is in the sports today. You really have to draw a line with these athletes getting involved, and this is like the biggest one of them all. I mean, if you let this slide.
It'll be interesting to follow.
I
need him to play.
He has more than a half a billion.
The MLB.
He has more than a
$500
billion. $500 million on the line. That is insane.
It'll be interesting to see. I need him to play. I want the Dodgers to play with him. I'm just excited to watch him in a Dodgers uniform. So clear him of the allegations. Free Trump, free Otani.
Good stuff there, boys. That's all we got there for the MLB. But we have some news here out of the college hockey world. NCAA Division I Men's Ice Hockey Committee has selected 16 teams that will participate in the 2024 NCAA Division I Men's Ice Hockey Championship. Regional rounds will take place in Providence, Sioux Falls, Springfield, and Maryland Heights between March 28th and March 31st. Frozen Four will be April 11th and 13th in St. Paul, Minnesota at Xcel Energy Center. Going to be a great set of matchups here. Lots of good ones. Boston College, Michigan Tech, Denver, UMass, Boston College, North Dakota and Michigan, Minnesota and Omaha, Michigan State, Western Michigan. Going to be some pretty good ones. You got anything about this, Ace?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hyped to watch this. I kind of sent this in the chat the other day. I know it was peak March Madness time. Excuse me. But hockey's championship was Boston College versus Boston University, the best 2 teams in college hockey of Macklin Celebrini on Boston University, a few other great players around him. We have the best line in college hockey, maybe the best line that college hockey's ever seen. That Team USA first line, led by Cutter Gauthier. He's already drafted to the Flyers, and I mean, he's one of the best players in college hockey. He's leading the points. They have a few other big names out there, but I don't see anybody beating them. Yeah, Will Smith is the top one. They got Ryan Leonard as well. I mean, this team is stacked. When they all committed to Boston College, I don't know if you know, they all talked to each other, buddies. They made sure they were all going to play on the same line for Boston College. So I don't see anybody being. They handled BU too. I think it was a trouncing, scoring early in that one. So I don't think anybody
should
can upset
them. They should definitely win it last year. But this reminds me a lot. It's a lot like that Minnesota team last year that had Logan Cooley and
what is that Michigan with Owen Power?
What?
The Michigan team last year with Owen Power?
No, that wasn't last year. Last year was the Minnesota team with had Logan Cooley. What are the other 2 kids' names on that line? The Logan Cooley line on Minnesota was like the best line in college hockey. It was ridiculous. Um, and they were the 1 seed going into it. Everyone thought they were going to win it, and then Quinnipiac ended up winning the national championship in overtime. So, I mean, this Boston College team has a lot of the same vibes as that team, but I mean, you're gonna have to see an upset for them to go down for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be some crazy hockey games. It's gonna take a good goaltender performance or a high scoring bout.
What the
I
hell was that
did,
guy's name? He played World Juniors this year. He lit it up. Starts with an S. It's like a long last name. He's still playing on that team too.
he's still on the same team.
He's still on Minnesota.
Oh, Jimmy Snuggerud.
Yeah, Snuggerud. Jimmy
Yeah.
Snuggerud. He lit
Some
it
other
up in
top
World
names to
Juniors this
watch
year.
out for. They got Lane Hudson on Boston U, Seamus Casey on Michigan, Trey Augustine, Michigan State, Ryan Leonard on Boston College, like I said, Will Smith, Artem Leshnikov on Michigan State, Carter Gauthier, and then Macklin Celebrini is the top one to watch in this. I think the table's set for BU BC, not only in the Hockey East, but now in the Frozen Four. I really hope we get that matchup. And as a lifelong BU guy, like I've been a fan of them ever since I was younger. My brother, big Boston College guy, had to represent BU. Jack Eichel playing there too. I mean, rocking the balls and all that. I would love to see BU go in there and get an upset in the finals if everything works out. But how often do you get the 1 and 2 matching up in the finals? Not very.
You could, especially with two powerhouse teams
Especially
like
this year, right? Like they're so much better than the rest of the field. And the best part is most of them are American too. Lot of NHL draft picks, top NHL draft picks competing in this. Fun to see. NCAA hockey getting a lot better in my lifetime.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch. I'm excited for this. First game tomorrow, 2 o'clock puck drop, so should be a good one. Might have some plays on this, huh?
Yeah, well, you did last year. You were hitting well on it last year. You and I were.
Yeah, I did pretty well. I'm not as invested this year because I don't know as many names, but I'm still definitely a little invested.
We'll take a peek. We'll take a peek.
Good stuff, boys. Lots to look forward to there as well. Coming up in with March Madness, this men's ice hockey championship. Lots to look forward to. Plus, don't forget about our March Madness live streams. Again, this Saturday will be our Elite 8 stream, followed by our Final Four, and on the 6th, I believe, something like that. And the 8th will be the championship game. Plus, we have some new video game streams. We're going to be doing some PGA 2K23, some NHL 23, and some Madden as well. Lots to look forward to as we do those.
24.
Each of us take Madden 24.
NHL
Well,
24.
Sorry, 2K is the one that does every other year. My
Yeah,
bad.
losers. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's the best.
You think?
Well, so much better. Their gameplay updates are actually sequential and they make sense. So they don't just stop 2 months after making the game.
Oh, I get what you're saying. You just like the 2K
So they
company
do
as
a
a
year
whole.
and 2 months of updates. So now it's done. Like there's not really any more updates now
Mhm.
since they're making the new game for next year.
What game is
For
this?
25
2K.
PGA.
Oh, I thought you were saying PG. What you say? Any 2K franchise, right?
No, I think all the other 2K games are every year, but the PGA one they actually
Keep
do a
going.
pretty good job at.
When does the new PGA come out?
They do it every 2 years.
Oh,
Like
really?
23, 25.
Oh, so I should definitely get a new one. Wait,
No,
no,
you
I
have
should probably
23.
just wait. No, I don't
Like
have any.
NHL's on
I don't have
24.
any.
I said 23. I messed that up.
Yeah.
I don't have
It's
PGA.
yearly. I need to get some
Right.
more NBA 2K heads. So anybody that's listening to our stream, let me know. I want to play against you. I got MLB The Show downloaded the other day. Great game, just
That
in time
too.
for baseball season. Got my Diamond Dynasty loaded in, and some connected franchise. Madden. Excited to get that going.
Yeah, just lots of fun stuff coming down the pipe. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you check us out. I think that's all we got this week, boys. Anything else to add?
No, let's go Bees. They're gonna be back in the top ranking. March Madness Sweet 16. If you like making money, tune in the Huff and Mackey. They just cake. And then yeah, on top of that, NCAA hockey, MLB starting up. A lot great time for sports. I saw one last question. I'll pose it for the both of you. Saw it online. What do you think's better? The first half of the year where you get the start of MLB and NHL, you get MLB World Series, or do you like this time with March Madness, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, start of MLB?
I'll always say March Madness time is my favorite time of year. No
Yeah.
real comparison, to be honest, but they're both good. They're all good. As long as it's
And
not
then
just middle of July only baseball, we're good.
diving right into NBA and NHL playoffs.
Hey, we do get to do our positional rankings for the NFL coming up in a few weeks, so I'm excited to get that rolling as well.
Heck yeah. All right, boys. I think that's all good. That's all we got here this week. Make sure to check us out everywhere. Like, rate, subscribe, all that junk. Really helps us out. I'll see you guys here next week. That's all I got.